Atlantic Series, and it is Trevor van Rooyen, and he is there with a time of 1 minute 18.4 seconds on the front row of today's grid. Beside him on the left-hand side of your picture at the moment is Graham Duxbury, driving a March 822 today. His time 1 minute 18.78. So Graham Duxbury, the man who had a very, very fine win in the last meeting the weekend before last down at Velcom, is there on the front row of the grid alongside his arch rival, certainly it was down at Velcom, Trevor van Rooyen. On the second row of the grid, position 3 is Bernard Tilanus. Bernard Tilanus, who has been lagging behind in the points. He's way, way, way behind the points leader, the man who's the defending champion in Formula Atlantic. That's Bernard Tilanus there, driving a March 78B. His time was 1 minute 19.1 in the official practice on Saturday. Beside Bernard Tilanus on the second row of the grid in position number 4 is Tony Martin. There's Tony Martin in his Maurer MM8, and his time in practice was 1 minute 19.57. Going down to the next row of the grid, we've got Brian Ferris driving a March 77. His time 1 minute 20.7, and beside him in position 6, Wayne Taylor in a March 802, and his time 1 minute 21.01. Position 7 on the fourth row of the grid, we have got Roy Carr driving a March 792. His time 1 minute 21.06. And then Mike Needle in a Chevron B34 on the 8th position on the grid, and he is there with a time of 1 minute 21.67. On the fifth row of the grid in position 9 is former Formula Ford man Andre Duplessis driving a March 77B. His time 1 minute 22.4. And then in position 10, also on the fifth row of the grid, Kent Dyson in a March 72B. His time 1 minute 22.77. On the sixth row of the grid in position 11, we've got car number 22. That's Ivano Movero. His time 1 minute 22.86. And then in position 12, the sixth row of the grid, Peter Haller in the Haller Special. His time 1 minute 23.34. Billy Maloney driving the former Dave Charlton car, the March 77B, is on the seventh row of the grid. His time 1 minute 23.61. And beside him in the March 722, Wayne Larner, position 14, his time 1 minute 24.2 line. The green light is on and away they go, and side by side you can see Bernard Tilanus taking a break there as they came down under the Marlborough Bridge, and it's Bernard Tilanus who goes into the lead as they come down to Crowthorne for the first time. Weaving there on the outside is Trevor van Rooyen, and then behind Trevor van Rooyen it is Graham Duxbury going through. 4 cars there battling it out as they go into Crowthorne for the first time. It's the reigning champion Bernard Tilanus in the DAW Supplies March 78B Datsun powered car that goes through the sweep, through the Uxkay sweep for the first time. Bernard Tilanus, who, as I say, was a Datsun powered car in earlier races. He had a turbo charged Datsun in the car. He's now reverted to the Mazda engine. Most of the cars run on these days in Formula Atlantic. Back to the more reliable car. He didn't have much success with the turbocharged car at all. But this is the reigning champion, or defending champion, should I say, currently lying in 4th position, and he is in the lead as they come through West Bank corner for the first time. Right behind him it's Trevor van Rooyen. Then we've got Graham Duxbury and somebody off there at Clubhouse. That looks like Manny Pinto in the Chevron B29. It is Manny Pinto indeed, the man who was right on the tail end of the grid, not having much success. And now as they go down the straight, Trevor van Rooyen, slipstreaming, Bernard Tilanus, Graham Duxbury behind him. Then we have got car number 7, that's Andre Duplessis, 4th position. Well, what an exciting race this looks like being. Bernard Tilanus and Trevor van Rooyen going around side by side. Tilanus just making it through there as they went into Crowthorne. Andrew Thompson.
Very, very exciting stuff here this afternoon. It's carrying on from where it left off at the Goldfields Raceway in Velcom 10 days ago. Bernard Tilanus is in the front of a race for the first time this season. He's the master of Kyalami. He's done thousands and thousands of laps at this circuit during a career which has spanned about 10 years in a variety of single-seater cars. And it doesn't look as though he's going to give up that first spot very easily this afternoon.
Let's have a look at as they come down through Marlborough Corner now. It is still Tilanus there. It is still Trevor van Rooyen there, side by side, almost touching wheels as he overtakes Tilanus as they go into sunset. Trevor van Rooyen, a very, very good driver indeed, a very experienced driver, and a very, very steady driver throughout Formula Atlantic racing. In third position, still Graham Duxbury, and the battle royal going on there between Duxbury and Tony Martin in that BP Maurer, BP 2000 Maurer, as they go up the hill now towards West Bank Corner. This is Trevor van Rooyen, the new leader of the race. At the end of the second lap, he took the lead there from Bernard Tilanus, and he is now screaming away. He's got a lead of about 100 metres. He goes through the gate now. Then comes Tilanus. After Tilanus, it's Graham Duxbury. Then it's Tony Martin. Behind Tony Martin in fifth position is car number 10, that's Brian Ferris. But look at that, there's a slow motion replay of the overtaking movement. They almost touched wheels there. Andrew.
One of the most audacious overtaking maneuvers I've seen in many a long day. Sunset Corner is extremely fast. It's usually very important to stay on the ideal racing line to get round the corner. Trevor, of course, exploiting the better road-holding characteristics of his wing car. Bernard, of course, is driving a conventionally chassis car, which doesn't have quite the adhesion of Trevor's Lant. And Trevor used the new chassis to the full there. He's certainly pulling away now. Obviously has a lot of power. The chassis set up beautifully, and he's driving the smooth sort of race that we've come to expect from him. The dice now is obviously developing for second spot. Still those three experienced protagonists, Bernard leading Graham Duxbury and Tony Martin.
To the pits there, that's Kent Dyson. Kent Dyson in the March 72B. Off the track and out of the races now, and there is nothing between Tilanus and Duxbury as they go up the hill and through West Bank Corner. Now they come out and onto the straight. Brian Ferris in fifth position, Wayne Taylor in sixth position. In seventh position we have Roy Carr, and in third position we have got Ivano Mavero. But look at this as they go down the straight. Tilanus weaving across the track there, but Duxbury right on his tail as if he had the front of his car tucked in underneath the wing of Bernard Tilanus's March. The lap record, 1 minute 19,14, set up today by the race leader, who is way out in the front at the moment. Way out in the front at the moment, and that is Trevor van Rooyen. But this is the battle that everybody here at the Kyalami circuit, and what a crowd we've got for this Republic Day holiday. We've got a superb crowd, and they are really enjoying this fight for second place between Bernard Tilanus and Graham Duxbury. And Duxbury now having to go.
Oh,
and
bumped.
Cutting right across there, and they're both off. Cutting right across there and into the sand at the side of the S's go both Tilanus and Graham Duxbury. Well, you saw what happened. Here it is in slow motion. You can see what happened there. Graham Duxbury pulling through to the inside of the track to try and get the inside line into the S's. Across comes Tilanus. He clips Duxbury. Tilanus goes into a spin. Duxbury goes off onto the fence, and it looks as if Duxbury came off worst on that. That's Manny Pinto coming into the pits there, the man who had that spin earlier on in the race down at Ford Corner. Fences is car number 22, and that is Ivano Mavero, who was lying in fourth position just a few moments ago, but he seems to have had the father and mother of a shunt. He's all right. The car doesn't look so good. From my commentary position, I can see Graham Duxbury walking along the side of the track down at La Paz. But this is Bernard Tilanus. There is Graham Duxbury's car. That is the car that was involved in that shunt with Bernard Tilanus a few minutes ago.
Bernard obviously a lot of leeway to make up if he's going to catch Tony Martin in second spot. I somewhat think that he's going to have a lonely drive for the rest of the afternoon. His nose is cocked up at a bit of an angle, which indicates that he didn't come off entirely scot-free. And there on the side of the circuit, we see Wayne Taylor's Pretoria Brick March also come to a halt, obviously after a spin as he's got going again.
And now the rain beginning to fall here at Kyalami. We've had some very dark clouds threatening us. But don't forget that these cars are running on dry weather slick tires. So a little bit of rain here is going to sort out the men from the boys. There are only 2 laps to go on this particular race as we look at Tony Martin lying at this particular moment in second position in the BP 2000 Maurer. Tony Martin from Natal. That is Trevor van Rooyen's teammate, car number 16, which is Wayne Larner, who spun off on this now very wet track and getting wetter all the time. Up into first position goes car number 2, and you are looking at him now. This is the new race leader. This is Tony Martin. What has happened to Trevor van Rooyen? But what a dramatic race this has been, with that incredible battle in the early stages between Bernard Tilanus and Graham Duxbury, ending in a very, very big shunt down at the S's. Then we have Trevor van Rooyen disappearing from the lead. There he is. It was Trevor van Rooyen that I saw from our commentary position in the catch fences there. You can see that the car looks fairly extensively damaged at the back, and I suspect that the rain that is falling here at Kyalami at the moment just caught Trevor van Rooyen unawares for that brief second, and off into the catch fences he went.
There goes Tony Martin. He's now on his 18th lap, which is of course the final lap. Driving very, very carefully. Obviously, the only thought in his mind to get it to the checkered flag in one piece. There's nobody within threatening distance of him, and it looks like being 18 very welcome points for Tony Martin, who in fact is still second overall in this year's championship with 58 points. If he wins this afternoon, as now appears to be a formality, he'll move on to 76, a mere 14 behind championship leader Trevor van Rooyen, who's ended his race in the catch fence, of course.
Well, also another man who would have got some points, who has now slipped right down there. We suspect he spun as well as Bernard Tilanus, who's moved right down now to 5th position. This very, very wet track taking its toll indeed of all the cars and drivers, as Tony Martin comes up through West Bank corner for the last time. He's on his way down the straight now to take the checkered flag and to put himself within scoring distance of the leader, some only 14 points behind Trevor van Rooyen, which puts him well up there and buys very, very well for the rest of this Atlantic Series. There's the checkered flag. Here comes the leader, Tony Martin. The second half of this race in very wet conditions. Graham Duxbury walking into the pits. Brian Ferris taking second position. In third position, it is car number 11, that's Roy Carr. In fourth position, Andre Duplessis. In the Rackrite Racing Mark 77B. And then Bernard Tilanus coming up into 5th position. And in 6th position, car number 8. Can't reiterate those results for you. They have changed, and I will give them to you now. The race leader was indeed, and the winner, Tony Martin. In second position, we had Andre Duplessis. Andre Duplessis in the Rackrite Racing March, moving up there. In third position, it was car number 11, Roy Carr. In fourth position, car number 10, Brian Ferris. In 5th position, it was, as I said, Bernard Tilanus. And in 6th position, car number 8, Peter Haller. What a race. There in the middle of the picture is Graham Duxbury walking down the pit lane. What a pity the battle between himself and Bernard Tilanus didn't materialize. But now